Show me again. Who wants to have more bookings on their calendar? Yes? How many of you believe you can have more bookings on your calendar? Yes, that's a good positive too. Excellent, excellent. Okay, for those I don't know, by the way, who've maybe joined us from Trina's team, I'm Michelle Beaupre, Senior Director with Pampered. Yeah, I just want to share with you some ideas, and I've got an exciting new tool to share with you as well. Some things will be new to some of you, some things won't. Some things are just going to remind you that you just need to like do it, right? Sometimes it's just a matter of putting the things you know you need to do in gear as well. Bookings, of course, are the very core of your business, right? Whether, you know, like no matter what you want in this business, whether it's more income, whether it is more fun, whether it is new recruits, whether it is earning trips, earning other incentives, it's all going to come from putting bookings on your calendar. I know we can get strategic and come up with sales other ways sometimes and so on, but the bottom line is without bookings, you are not going to stay in business for long, okay? So the first thing we really want to do before we dig in is just really make sure that your head is in the right place, because the reality is, as you've all heard before, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you will be absolutely right. Okay.
So this is a little sticky. I'm a Post-it junkie, and my little mantra is bookings come easily to me. And I put that up in my office. It's like right in front of me every day. So when I look at my board, I also have one that says no is not an answer. Book the shows. Bookings come easily to me, and another one for recruiting. So
love it. Love it. Yes. So do y'all have something you wrote down? Somebody who wants to share with us?
Oh, Rebecca says, I am a rock star at booking parties. Yeah, you are.
Love it. Great. Okay, you guys, I am of the school of give me the meat and potatoes. And I don't like fluff, like what you might be thinking this is right now. Like I'm often like, yeah, just tell me what I need to do. This is not fluff. All right. If you do not get your head around this, and if you don't believe it, you will not do it. All right. I'm just like, you know, it's about changing. Our behaviors have to match. Our behaviors will match our identity of ourselves, right? If you are not a smoker, you know, and somebody says, would you like a cigarette? You don't say, no, I don't want one of those, right? You say, oh, no, I don't smoke. Like I'm not a smoker. It's your identity, right? And your booking identity is going to dictate your behavior. So I really want you to believe and really focus on this. Get it up. I had one girl on my team write this in lipstick on her bathroom mirror, what her booking mantra was. Get it where you can see it. Don't just stick it on your computer unless you have good habits like Trina does and is in her office every day. I want you to stick it where you're going to see it. I want you to stick it in places that you are easily distracted. If you're a Netflix watcher, you know, you watch TV a lot, whatever, put it there. If you scroll your phone, make it your screensaver. Put it places that you're going to be reminded that you're a bookings ninja. Is your behavior matching what a bookings ninja does right now? Okay. And that's going to really make a difference for you. All right. So if you currently do not have the bookings you want on your calendar, it's one of three things. Okay. Very easy to boil down here. It is skill, will, or habit. Okay. So we're going to dive into all three of those, but let's first look at what are these things. Your skills is, you know, do you know how? For some of you, you don't. Like we can actually, there are skills that we're going to go over today to actually boost your skills here. All right. Many of you know exactly what you need to do, you know, and it's not a skill issue. But some of you, like we can always sharpen the saw a little bit too, though, right? So even if you think you know that your skills are sharp, we're going to sharpen them a little bit more. But that's what skill is. Do you know how to add bookings to your calendar? Or do you feel like you need to improve on methods or what to say or how to, well, we're going to dive into the main skills shortly. So that's skill. The next one is will. And will is, do you know your why? This is really important, you guys. You will be far more motivated to do what you need to do if you have a reason to do it. And I'm going to share a story with you that I almost hesitate to share because the numbers are so ridiculous. I don't want anyone feeling like you're less than if you're not aspiring to this. Okay, because this is beyond anything I would ever dream of myself. So Leah Privet is a new executive director in the US. She has a goal. She is building a new home right now. And her goal is to pay cash for that house by the fall as they build it. Her personal sales in November were $120,000. That's her personal sales, you guys, not her team. Okay. And her personal sales in January were $101,000. Like, that's insanity, right? We can all, I'm not, no one needs to be striving for that. Good for you if you want to. But she has a really huge why. So she's making it happen. And I might tell you, she works full time as a nurse practitioner. She has 4 active boys in travel sports, and they run a farm. I have no comprehension, but anyhow, that doesn't matter. Point is, really big why will drive you. Okay. Now your why doesn't have to be pay cash for a house. Your why could be, not have to second guess date night every couple of weeks, like that. You'll just pay for that. Your why could be, I'm taking a vacation. I'm taking my family on a vacation this summer. It's going to be $5,000. I am not going into debt for it, right? Whatever it is, I want you to know your why. And then why you're trying to get bookings. Do you have the motivation to do it? Or are you lacking the desire to do the work necessary? Are you convinced that the rewards and incentives are worth it? Okay, so maybe you need to think about, what are the rewards and incentives of having a full calendar? Would it be amazing to take to earn a free Pampered Chef incentive trip? Would you like to be recognized on stage and appreciate that, and have that sense of accomplishment? Would you like your name in lights on your team page every month? What is the why that is going to drive you to do what you need to do? And again, this feels like fluff. It is not. If you have a big why, you will move. So throw in the chat for me, what are some of your whys? Do you desire to stay home with the kids? Do you desire to just meet more people, which you're going to do by doing more shows? Do you desire to pay for something special? Whatever your why is, throw it in the chat, and Trina will share a couple of those with us in a minute.
So my big why for 2023 is debt free in 23.
Love that.
Oh, Camille is saying she needs a new car. So there's some car payment monies. We've got Rebecca helping with bills and rent while in medical school. I love that.
Wow.
Erin says to stay home. Oh, the chat is moving crazy. Stay home, pay for dentist bills or any other bills that come up. Nice to have that little nest egg, right? Just as that emergency fund. There's like a crazy number. I don't know the percentage off the top of my head, but it's like over 80% of Canadians do not have an emergency fund, like could not pay for a $500 emergency other than putting it like on their credit card. Do you know what I mean? So that is amazing, Erin. I love that. Pay debt.
Awesome.
Not going back to work after my medical leave. Yes, yes, yes.
Love it. Love it. Okay. And sometimes your why will change, you guys, and that's okay. So have a reflection on your why once in a while, but I also want you to attach some visuals to those whys. So you're going to have Trina's lovely, putting like she did with her sticky note, you're going to have your mantra up. And then I also want you to create some visuals around your why. You might want to create a vision board. But even if you don't want to take the time to do that, get some cutouts, make a picture on Canva. I don't care. Get something up that is in your face regularly about why you're doing this. What's inspiring you to keep doing what you need to do? Does that make sense? Okay, so it's skill, it's will, or it's habit. And habit is, for a lot of us, the one that's holding you back the most. So habit is, do you just do it? Or are you lacking the systems to consistently do what needs to be done? Okay, so we're going to look at what do we do if we are lacking in any one of these. So let's start with will. So will, we said, was, and I know I'm not doing them in the same order, skill, will, and habit, but I'm going to get the ones out of the way. Like we're going to start with will. So do you feel like you have a really strong why? Your why has to be bigger than your whine. I always say almost everything I teach in this business is because I've had great mentors. That is one of my original lines. And that is, your why has to be bigger than your whine. You have to want what you want more than you don't want to do the work. Okay, does that make sense? So, like it has to override I don't feel like it tonight. I'd rather watch Grey's Anatomy tonight. I'm just too tired, whatever. It has to be bigger than your wine so that you still do it. So again, this is just some of the things that people often consider for their why, and that's either money for a specific thing, flexibility, product discounts, free products, travel, cooking tips and tricks. That's why sort of people do this. Fun and friends, me time, all of those things are what you're going to get out of this business and why you want to keep getting those bookings in place. Okay. All right. So, I'm just looking at my notes here. Second. Yeah, I already said all that when I was talking about it. Just a second. I'm just looking to make sure I don't miss anything. Having a tangible goal will give you the motivation to book the parties you need to get. Don't forget to share that goal with your family and support people. They'll take your business more seriously when you treat it like a business and show them the money. Like if you are, gonna like, and also I always say here too, is set when you're sharing that goal with your family and people that support you and so on, is to, speak their language, right? Your family is going to be much more supportive. Your partner is going to be much more supportive when you're speaking about whys and rewards that they're going to enjoy as well. All right. Okay. Now, skill. We're going to dive in here a little bit deeper. The skill is basically the three skills that I think most people who are struggling with bookings struggle with is who to ask, how to ask, and overcoming hesitations. Okay. So where can you buffer strengthen your resources? Well, first of all, you're doing a great thing and showed up today. So that's good, right? We're going to go through some of these skill areas here. But you guys, there are a zillion resources available to you to improve your booking skills. Ask yourself if you're really using them. When was the last time you went into Dash and checked out all of the resources there on how to add bookings to your calendar? What about attending spotlight trainings, team trainings? Are you going to all your team trainings? Are you using your team resources? I know both Trina and myself in our org pages have tons of resource ideas on how to get bookings, okay? And a great idea is to reach out to those achieving at the level you'd like. So both our organizations show every month who the top sellers are. Why not send a message and say, my gosh, you're doing awesome. What would you say are your top 3 tips for adding bookings to your calendar? Okay. But I would do that when you've done the other stuff, right? If you want to make sure you've taken the time to dig into those. All right. So let's dig into each of these a bit more. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here because we don't, just a second. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about who to ask. All right. So if you came here today, and we're not going to talk a lot about bookings in your parties. We're going to touch on it a little bit, but I know for many of you, you don't have many parties right now to get bookings from. So therefore, we're going to talk mostly about getting bookings outside of your parties. So if we started with who to ask, my first comment on this would be stop overthinking it. Okay. We are going to give you some ideas, but you can offer, and that's a big word I'm going to get you to change your mindset on a little bit here. Try to stop thinking about who are you asking to have a show for you. Do you want to see literally the hair on the back of my neck go up when I hear people say, I'm going to ask her to have a show for me? It's not for you, people. This is not about what anyone can do for you. Okay. Offering someone the opportunity to have a party is about what you can do for them. Now, the beautiful thing about this business in a million ways is when you help other people get what they want, you are going to get what you want anyway. Okay. But you don't need to be thinking about who am I going to get to have a party for me? First of all, you know why the biggest reason not to think, well, maybe not the biggest, but one of the reasons not to think about it like that, I don't know what's going on here, is because it stops you from offering, because you feel like you're bothering people. How many of you don't make your booking reach outs because you don't want to feel like you're bugging people. Has that ever entered your head? I'm not going to ask her. She's going to think I'm bugging her. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be, you know, one of those annoying people.
Salesy.
Right. Okay. If that is what is in your thought process, you're not going to do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't want to bug anybody either. Now, what if instead your thought process is, what do I have to offer? I mean, what do we offer people when we offer them the opportunity to host a party? What are we offering them? We don't want this call to go over time, so you guys got to give me some answers fast here. What are we offering them?
How do I do that? First of all, I gotta learn how to use Zoom.
Great products, great discounts, free things.
Yes, free products, half price products, Erin says in the chat as well. Jen too. Fun time with friends, 10% off for a year. What else we got there? I saw one go by. Deals and discounts, amazing products, free things. Yeah, you guys got it. Yeah, okay, just sorry, just scrolling back to make sure I didn't miss anything. We're offering them a lot of cool things, right? They get also, what about great recipes? You know, what is your value added every month? I like to think of, you know, what do people really want to hear about right now? And how can I add that value into my parties? So what do you think people really want to hear about right now? Camille, kitchen solutions to common problems. Love that. What do people want to hear about right now? What else?
What about budget-friendly recipes or how to stretch their dollar at the grocery store, right?
Yes, you are solution providers, my friends. Don't think of yourself as, well, first of all, never be as shy about being a salesperson. The world goes around because of salespeople. So there's nothing, no shame, you know, the no shame sales game, right? All good. But you are a solution provider. That's what a good salesperson does. So what solutions are people looking for? There's great ones in the chat here. Money saving tricks, easier, faster, cheaper ways to cook. Perfect. Healthy food recipes. Yes. Valentine treat ideas. You know, what can I do with my kids on family day? What can I bake with them? What could I, you know, ask yourself all the time, how can I be a solution provider now? Right?
Prep ideas.
So,
I love that, Sarah. Yep.
yeah, quick, easy prep ideas. All of those. Perfect. I just noticed a new feature in Zoom. Do you guys jump to first unread message?
I saw
That I've
that.
never seen before. That's new. Wow, love it. Okay, sorry to get distracted there. Anyway, here's Michelle for you all over the place. Okay, so where was I? Offering value added. So we've just covered a ton of things we have to offer, and you are not offering it to people. That's what I want you to think about instead of, I'm not asking people. You're not offering people, right? So that can help your mindset. So there's another sticky note. What do I have to offer today, right? Get those, like, again, it's a mindset thing, but it will change who you are reaching out to and what you are saying, okay? So let's go back to that who to ask now. If you're thinking about now who to ask, it should say who to offer, right? And now you might be thinking differently. We're not just looking at, oh, who do I think will have a show for me? It's like, who do I know who would really appreciate some healthy meal ideas right now? Who would really appreciate some quick prep ideas? Who's been talking about how expensive the grocery bill is? Gosh, I see that post 4 times a day, right? Like people are always talking about, oh, did you see the price of whatever? Okay, your immediate thought, and you got to get this into your DNA, right? Your immediate thought when you see those is, I have solutions for her. I am going to send that person a message, not salesy right off. I'm just going to have a conversation like, oh my gosh, totally hear you. I bought, you know, milk the other day and I can't believe how much it went up, whatever, something along those lines, being real, truthful, whatever your experience is. And then you can say, you know, as you're having a conversation, you know, I got to tell you, I'm doing virtual Pampered Chef parties right now that my guests are absolutely loving the money stretching meal idea tips I'm sharing. And you guys, this is your business. So if you're thinking, well, where would I get those tips? Well, first of all, I can tell you if you're in my organization, I'm happy to share those with Trina. Our team did a brainstorming and has a whole bunch of these posts already done. Also, like Google. Just go Google top 10 grocery saving tip ideas, top 10 easy meal prep ideas, top 10 whatever, budget meals to make, and then go pop into your website, find similar recipes, right? So if it says spaghetti, yes, Pinterest, good idea, Erin. If it says spaghetti is a great budget meal to make, go into our website, find a unique way to make spaghetti or a unique idea about spaghetti and share that. Okay, so our company provides volumes. Also, go check out your blog. Your blog on your personal website. Y'all have one. Look at the blog. There's always interesting and timely posts there too that will give you something to think about. Like you could go into the blog right now and type in Valentine's, or go into even to your website recipes, type Valentine's, stuff's going to come up, right? So, or
And what I was going to suggest too is, when you find that recipe, don't just post it, make the recipe, go live in your group, right? One, your groceries are a bit of a business write-off if you didn't know that. Two, that's going to even provide value, right? A little bit more value, because then they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like Sarah is making this pasta and I have those ingredients in my pantry, and oh my goodness, her kids are eating that, and I'm sold. Like, where do I get? And then they're going to reach out to you and be like, what was that again? And like, can you tell me more about that? And that's also opening the lines of a conversation that you can start having with people, right? So again, I'm not saying you have to be like a professional. You don't have to have your hair and makeup done. Your kitchen doesn't have to be clean. Just go live, be a real human. And that's going to create that more engagement piece on your, in your VIP group, or even on your timeline. So.
And increases the know, like, and trust factor as well, right? They're going to feel more loyal to you because they know you, they like you, they trust you. People are going to buy Pampered Chef despite you. They will, right? You know that people are going to buy this stuff really no matter what you do, but they will book with you and they will sign up with you as a consultant when they know, like, and trust you. So yes, the more you can put your face out there, the more you will develop that know, like, and trust factor. And don't be afraid to, like, if you're adding value and not being salesy, don't be afraid to share these on your own timeline. Okay. You don't have to do everything in your VIP. You could, or oh my gosh, I added 10 new people to my VIP yesterday or Saturday. I forget what day it was. I posted a picture of the broccoli crust pizza that I made, which, by the way, you might think sounds disgusting. It is, I freaking love this recipe. Okay. It's Pampered Chef recipe, broccoli crust pizza. Go look it up. It's really good. I made that for Saturday night dinner for my husband and I, and I just posted a picture of it on my personal page. And I said, link to the recipe in the comments. And then the link was to my VIP, 10 new members that day. Okay. Because they went to go check out that recipe. So you can give a little taste there. Was it gluten-free? I don't pay attention to that. So I'm thinking in my head, it had almond flour. So yes, I think so. Yeah. I think it's gluten-free. There's nothing other than, no, it would be gluten-free. Yeah, but you can check the recipe out on your personal website. Okay, so where was I? Who to ask? All right. So obviously, if you are newer, can you all, like, I don't know everyone in this group. Do we have anybody that's in their first sort of 30 days? Yes. Okay. All right. So those of you that are new, and you know what, really, honestly, I'm going to back that truck up. I didn't need to ask that question, because even if you are not in your, oh yes, Kimberly, I see you there. You're in your first 30 for sure. So even if you are not brand new though, because I doubt, if we're being honest, that many of us have done this recently or completely. So I don't want you to mishear me on something here. I'm going to tell you an old school way and I'm going to bring it modern. Okay. So don't freak out, because I know you're going to see posts other places that say your upline tells you to cold call everyone. It's not what I'm saying. Okay. But what I am saying is make a list of people you know. Start with a Frank's list. Okay. So Frank's, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to introduce you to my good buddy Frank's with 2 S's on the end. F is friends. Okay, because I'm not going to tell you that you need to reach out to every single person on this list. I'm not going to tell you that, but I am going to tell you to write them all down, because through the process of making this list, you're going to think of people that you might not have thought of if you don't go through this process. Okay. I will help you narrow the list down at the end. Right now, I'm giving you the name, the ideas of who to look for. Hello, Missy. It's my little friend Camille. Oh, she went away. Hi, sweetie. Okay. So F is friends. R is relatives. Okay. Write down your list, your name, all your relatives. And you don't tell me I've already got these in my phone. I don't need to write them out. Yes, you do. Write them out. Okay. Friends, relatives. A is acquaintances or associates. Now, here's what I like to think of as this. One way to think of this is people you do business with. Okay. Or people that you're associated with, or you wouldn't call them friends necessarily, but like, the good thing when you get this list going, and by the way, you don't have to know people's names here. So if you always chat with the same teller at the bank, then write down teller at the bank, okay? And you might be thinking, who goes into the bank? You should be, okay? You are in a people business, get out of your car and go in the bank, all right? So that you never know who you're gonna meet, what conversations you can strike up, et cetera, right? So, okay, here you wanna think about like, who cuts your hair? Because the other thing is, all the people that you pay, especially small business people, are going to be more likely to also want to support your small business. Okay. And there may be ways for you to partner with them. So who cuts your hair? Where do you get your oil changed? Who's the lady at your Tim Hortons or your Starbucks? Who's the cashier at the store you go through? Your vet, your doctor, your dentist, their assistants, etc. You get the idea, right? Yes, nails, massage therapist, your kids. Well, I'm going to get back to the kids one because that's another category in that. But yeah, just people you do business with. Think through, keep that list going. And you guys, if you have a supportive partner, it's a great idea to throw this list out on the table and say, hey, write down any names that you think of. Or again, doesn't have to be names. Just like he might say, who's that chick you're always talking about that does your nails or whatever, like that kind of thing. All right. Where are we? Friends. Okay. N is neighbors. Okay. Neighbors now. Okay. Across the street, down the street, behind you. Anybody you ever considered a neighbor. College roommates. This is just a cue. These are just to help you think of people. K is kids contacts. All right. This could be, and you can use pets if you don't have kids. So this is anyone you know through your children, their teachers, their coaches, their friends' parents, anyone that you would say, again, these are cues to help you think of people. All right. S is two things: significant other contacts. So your significant other may have people in their life that when you ask them, might think, oh my gosh, there's this, guy at work. He's like gourmet guy. He loves to bring in fancy food all the time. Like, give me a book. I'll take one to him. All right. So just asking for some other people to help, like other contacts there. Or you might think of one of his buddies' wives, for example. The second S, Frank's has two S's. This is the easiest one of all. It is low-hanging fruit. It's social media contacts. Okay. You can sit down, open your computer, go to the chat in Facebook, Messenger, right? Go to Messenger and start messaging. Okay. Now, that would be my option number 62. Okay. It works, but I prefer to come from a place of service and have a reason to reach out to people rather than just sending random messages. Now, random messages are fine. Many of us built our business on it, but many of you hesitate to do them because you feel like salesy. So let's just leave that. Kathy, you have your hand up. Do you mean to? Kathy Herbert? Yeah, go ahead. You have a question?
Quick question about the second S there. With the social media, when you have a party, do you add the contacts of everybody that's touched base with you, not just everybody in the party, as friends? Like, do you build your friends list? Like, I've always tried to keep my social media friends list to my actual friends and family. Like, it's more of
so I will share my opinion with you on this. It is not the only one. It is the majority of people that have been in this business for a long time. You are your brand. And so, yes, I do add I request friend request every single person in my parties that joins the parties. I friend request them all. I would say less than half accept the friend request, maybe about half accept the friend request. And so no, you just so you know though, if you're like, ooh, I don't like that, you can identify who sees your, like, let's say you have a special post you want to put up or whatever, you can limit it to a certain audience. So, however, I believe that, when you're in this business, your Facebook is your storefront. For that reason, you should be aware of what you post, right? You don't want to post things that are too controversial. I'm not saying you shouldn't stand for what you believe in, but just be aware. Are you prepared to, alienate people if you have a belief that's strong on one particular topic or another? But anyway, yes, I do friend request everyone that is at my parties.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And that is the comment. I know Trina has stepped away. I can tell you she does as well for sure. And I will tell you that I don't know anyone. I do know people in this business who choose not to. I will tell you that I don't know anyone who's like a big success in the business who doesn't do that. Okay, so good question though, Kathy. Thank you. Okay, so we've made this big list. Now, really though, as you go through that list, I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to give you 4 symbols, okay, that I want you to just now put across the top of your page. And then when, not right now, you're going to go down that list and you're going to put these little symbols beside their names as they apply. All right, so here you go. And by the way, this is a bit of a recruiting workshop, but you are also going to, you're going to see why it's a bookings piece as well. So the 4 symbols are heart. First one's just a heart, just draw a heart. And a heart is for anyone who you already know loves Pampered Chef, or they love to cook, bake, entertain. You get what I'm saying, right? They're going to love our stuff. They're going to love who and what we are. So they either already love us or they love kind of along the lines of what we do. All right. The second one is a happy face. This is just people you love. You like them. You would like to spend more time with them. You would like to do something nice for them. You just like them, right? If like from a recruiting perspective, if you were opening a cute cafe in your town, you would love to, spend time with them, ask them to come work with you, whatever. You'd maybe like to travel with them. You get it. You just like these people. Okay. The third symbol is, again, your immediate thought's going to be, I thought this was a bookings workshop. This sounds like recruiting, but you'll hear in a second why. The third one is a $sign. And a $sign has a need for what we have to offer. Now, I use a $sign because, of course, an immediate need that most people think from a recruiting perspective is money. So who needs money? Now, first of all, I don't know how your bills operate, but I don't know who doesn't need money. But it might mean has a specific need. So in other words, there's somebody in their family getting married or they're getting married. They're saving for tuition for themselves or their children. They're paying down debt. They are on a medical leave. They are underemployed. They could be doing better or not getting enough hours or whatever. Or they are just someone who loves to invest or they love to travel. There's lots of needs, right? And from a booking perspective, it would be, if we think of all those things we said we had to offer before, it would be who needs any of that? So the $sign, don't confuse it. It doesn't have to be just money. It's just a symbol. I need a symbol I can draw, which is very little. So, it's a symbol of people need us, okay? And then the fourth symbol is more of a recruiting one for sure, but can translate to booking as well. The fourth symbol is a little clock face. Don't get fancy. It's a circle with 2 hands, okay? So it's a clock. And the clock represents flexibility, which from a recruiting perspective, of course, as you're making this list, if you know someone who's going to appreciate flexibility, and we'll get into that in a minute, that's going to be great from a recruiting perspective. But again, from a bookings perspective, it's who would love time-saving recipes? Who would love to know some quick and easy tips for prep, right? So How can you identify people who need flexibility? Give me some tips. Who needs flexibility? Who appreciates flexibility? Anyone? Chat or come off? Moms on the road for sports. Yeah, Kathy, everyone. Yes. Yeah. Like I would think about like, if we really wanted to, I agree that it's really everyone. Many people appreciate flexibility. I love the idea of the busy sports moms for sure. Busy students. Good point, Rebecca. I like that one. For sure. I often speak to students about like university students and so on about the value of this business because they can like put it completely on the back burner when they're busy with exams and then ramp it right back up when things are a bit slower, right? And they have the flexibility where they're not begging for time off work or they want to go home for, you know, a couple weeks or whatever, they can do that and still work their business. But yeah, think about moms on mat leave, like new baby moms, think about school age moms, especially in this day when so many people are expected to, you know, work from home, whatever. But also don't forget one that hasn't been mentioned here is retirees or those close to retirement, right? They will really value flexibility as well. All right. But again, remember that that clock from a bookings perspective can also be who would value what I have to offer in terms of time-saving recipes. All right. So now that you've made this list, that and put these symbols beside it, then we can work on what to say or how to ask. And how to ask, again, is not how to ask, but how to offer. Yes, it's how to offer. So start with what you think they're going to value out of it, right? So it might be, and this goes whether you're brand new or whether you've been around a long time, you can still start with that. So those of you who are brand new are probably going to start with, or you think, or never mind if you're brand new, if you haven't been like screaming from the rooftops and people might not know that you do Pampered Chef, you know, you might just start with something like, you know, hey, Kathy, I'm really excited by this. I'm going to say this for brand new people first, and then for those that aren't, you can tweak it a bit. But like for those of you that aren't, just tweak it too. I'm super excited. Pampered Chef has so much new that I want to, you know, that I would love to be able to share with you. And I thought of you right away because I'm sharing such great time-saving recipes and, you know, comfort food done healthier in my virtual parties that I just thought of you as someone who would really appreciate these recipes. I'd love the opportunity to spoil you with tons of free goodies as well. You know, what do you think? Can we go ahead and get this set up? So a couple of things on how to ask. You're talking about what's in it for them. If you are not speaking to your mother, your sister, or your best friend, I don't want to hear about your goals in the ask. Okay? Very few people care. I'm sorry to say, we are generally pretty selfish people. Very few people are going to have a show because you asked them to help you out. Okay? Again, your mom, your sister, your best friends, go ahead. Absolutely. Especially those of you who are new. Hey, I'm super excited. I've started something new. I would love to spoil you and you'd really be helping me out in getting my business started. Or you'd really be helping me out with my big goal for this month, right? But honestly, I don't love it, and save it for those you really think care. Okay, the average Jane that you're messaging, who you met at a party or who, you know, whatever, probably does not care. She might do it to help your host. That's another type of ask, but we're not talking about bookings at parties. She probably isn't going to do it to help you. So don't put that in there. Talk about what's in it for them. What are they going to get out of it? And not just about the free. Some people are actually offended by it. All right. So don't make it just about the free. Make it about the value proposition you're offering in your party right now. And by the way, you don't have to change up your party very much. Okay. You can run the same dang party. You can change 2 or 3 recipes and call it something different. You don't have to turn your party on its head. Okay. Don't, in fact. Okay. Keep it simple. You have more important work to be done, better ways to serve people than just by like trying to change up your entire template. Okay, all you want to do is if you really want to change up a recipe or two, great. But I wouldn't even do that. Quite frankly, I would just add them in. Like I would just leave the basis of the party alone, especially if you're on my team, because our template, all the next posts, like 2 or 3 posts after that post relate to the recipe. So you're going to kind of mess up the whole thing and cause yourself a lot of work. I would be tempted to just say, you know, if you want to offer a wine, cheese, and chocolate party this week because it's Valentine's, fabulous. Go do that and throw in 3 wine, cheese, and chocolate recipes and don't mess with the rest of it. That's what I would do. But you do you. It's your business. But that's my suggestion. All right. So, and I'm going over the keys of the offer, right? It's the what's in it for them. Okay. What are you going to offer them? And, you know, why you thought of them. Always try to use the words, I thought of you. Do you not feel good when someone says to you, oh my gosh, I thought of you today, Sarah? I saw somebody walking down the street. She's just like you are. I saw this kid with this adorable curly hair and I thought of you and your, you know, sweet son or whatever. Like, I thought of you. Okay. And why? If you can give a genuine reason why, that's amazing. And then end it with a question. Can I go ahead and set that up for you? Or, you know, would this week or next week be better for you? Okay. Now, don't say, would March or April be better for you? People, you are trying to book in close. If you are not solidly booked for next week, you are not talking about March. And that is another thing. No one should be talking about new products right now. Okay. Don't do it. First of all, honestly, even if you were really booked, we've asked people to kind of keep it to yourself at least until, well, we said, you know, family day. So like another week yet, because you have friends who are still trying to book. And if everyone in the world knows that there's new products coming March 1st, they might not have a show now. They should, because they can get stoneware and all the rest of it, right? Now, again, I didn't, you know, one thing I haven't even talked about is the host bonus that you don't, like, I didn't even bring that up. I often use that in my follow-up ask. So if they, unless it's something I know they're going to like, oh my gosh, that person's a total stoner, I have to let her know about the stoneware sale. Like, she's got to know. But aside from that, I will save that until my follow-up. All right. So, but make sure you end in a question. Don't just say, oh, it would be so fun. Yeah. Like, no, it's, you gotta lob the tennis ball across the net so that they lob it back. Okay. All right. So now I said there were 3 skills: who to ask, how to offer, right? And then the third one, it's overcoming hesitations. In the interest of time, how are we doing? Yeah, I'm going to sum that one up pretty quick, but I'm a big believer in the acronym CARE. And many of you have heard this before, and if you haven't, you're going to want to write it down. CARE is an acronym on how you're going to deal with hesitations. Now, obviously, the word implies too that you're going to do it with care, and you're going to come from a place of service. Offering should come from a place of service as well. Following up with the hesitation certainly should too. So CARE is clarify. If I say to you, I can't have a party right now, maybe later. What does that mean? Now, you don't say that, by the way, but like, what does that mean? If somebody gives you a hesitation, you're first going to want to clarify that you actually understand what they mean. Maybe later could be like, oh, I get paid on Thursday. That's better, right? And or it could mean, you know what, we're away this week, but next week is better. It could mean our house is ripped to hell, you know, and I can't even keep my head straight. Call me in a month. You don't know what it means. So the easiest way to clarify is to basically, you've got 2 options here. One is to almost repeat back exactly what they said as a question. So if she says, I can't right now, I'm just too busy, I say things like, oh, you've got a lot on the go. I just rephrase exactly what they say as a question, because 9 times out of 10, they will provide more information right then. They'll say, yeah, things are just nuts right now. Johnny's in hockey playoffs for the next 2 weeks. Things are just like, we're out every night of the week. I cannot even imagine, you know, whatever. So now we have a place to go, right? We know what she's talking about by what she meant. So I said there were 2 ways to clarify. One was just to repeat it as a question. The second way is to say, tell me more about that. Okay. Oh my God, I'm busy right now. Oh, really? Tell me more about that. What's got you crazy? Whatever. Right? So that's C. A is acknowledge or agree. You guys, this is how you drop their defenses. Think about, you've all, I'm sure at some point in your life, had an argument with someone. Are you married? You've had an argument with someone. Okay. So if you've ever had an argument with someone, you know, and they come at you without, and you feel like you're not heard, your defenses go up, even if there is a morsel of them being correct in their discussion. You are not going to have at it because you are like, they're just not hearing you, and they're, you know, they're coming right at you. If the discussion goes, so we'll go back to the same example. I'm really busy right now. She says Johnny's in hockey, whatever. I would acknowledge and say, oh my gosh, Jen, totally get that. It sounds like you really have a lot on the go right now. You guys must be running all over the place. So now how's Jen feeling? She's like, yeah, this chick gets me. Like, okay, you know, and she's not feeling attacked, and she's ready to hear what you have to say. By the way, this care thing works in life. Here's your marriage counseling session for the evening, or your parenting counseling session, whatever.
TED Talk.
This whole, yeah. Welcome to my TED Talk. Yeah. So this care thing works, right? So acknowledge, and now only once you have done that, then and only then, and way too many consultants skip right to the R and they respond. But if you haven't clarified and acknowledged first, you are not responding, you are arguing. Okay. So this is what I see very often. I can't right now, I'm too busy. Oh my God, busy. Let me tell you, busy. I got 4 kids. We run in 16 directions. You would never understand. Like, oh my goodness. No, I can tell you busy. And if I can fit this in, you can fit this in. Goodbye. I would not have that. Like, I'd be like, see ya. Like, no. Or I'll get this one. The other option is they'll go, oh, you know, so clarify. So I'm really busy. Oh, no, no. Doing a party only takes a few minutes a day. You can fit this in. Okay. You have no idea what she's busy with, what's going on in her life right now. You know, you don't know anything. And you've just told her, oh, hell, it's easy as, you know, you can do this and you can fit it right in. Like, I would just be like, yeah, I'll get back to you. Ciao. Right. So make sure you have acknowledged first that you get it. Sounds like they've got a lot on the go, whatever. And then, and only then you can reply or respond with a suggestion on how it might work anyway. Okay, so in that example, I might say, you know, oh my gosh, you know, it sounds like you got a lot on the go with Johnny's hockey and so on. I totally hear you on that one. I'd probably relate my, you know, if you have a relatable story, you know, I totally get it. My daughter's in playoffs right now too, etc. And then I'd say, you know, what I find when I'm sitting there in the arena for the hour before the game starts, or waiting for them to come out for 15 minutes, that's really going to be all the time you need to do a quick scroll in your party. If you had 5 minutes a day, that would probably be it. And you know what? While you're at hockey, the good thing is you've got those extra contacts. So with that in mind, why don't we give it a try right now and see how it goes? If I could show you that we could make it work in a few minutes a day, do you think this would be a good time? So I just also modeled the E, which was extend the invitation again. So after you have shown them the response, like after you've told them how it's going to work, right? Then you can extend the invitation again. Now, if I really felt that, oh yeah, like she's away and not going to have internet for the next week, well, no, it's not a good week. So I would reply then and say, oh my gosh, totally makes sense. This is not a good week for you. You know, why don't we look, how about we schedule it in for the week of March 1st? Would that work better for you? Or whatever, right? So you're always then going to extend the invitation again. Does anyone have any questions about care? Do you feel like that can help you overcome some of the hesitations you get? Yes. The other thing I will say on this is one of the best, and I wish I could understand, this is one thing I feel like I have failed at here. I wish I could understand the psychology behind why, maybe some of you can tell me your opinions on this. I can tell you, I know for sure Trina does, and I know for sure I do. We are constantly saying, send us your screenshots of your discussions. We don't get very many. Okay, we're offering to help you. We're offering to look at it with you and help you learn this skill. This is probably the skill that you will learn to improve on the most in your time as a consultant. Okay, it is sorry, I'm just trying to share the screen again. Learning to overcome hesitations is probably the biggest difference between strong bookers and those that do not. And because people tend to run away a little too easily from the sight of the first no, when most things that you think are no's are not no's. They are needs for more information. They need to know something. So I would ask you, I wish there was a way for you to answer anonymously. There is, but I don't know how to do it. You know, why are you not sending screenshots when you are not getting bookings or recruits? Because we can help you with them.
And the other thing on that note too, the reason why your screenshot is so important is sometimes it's all in your ask. And I know this from experience firsthand. Oh my goodness, I've gone back to look at some of my very old asks and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I said that to people, or like, oh, I can't believe I approached a conversation that way. And sometimes it's literally like one or two words or like a few things that you're saying that if we looked at it, and we're not saying we're like the experts, the be all and know all, but we've been around the block. Michelle's been around the block several more times than all of us. And, you know, we just know the niche, we just know the wording, we know what works, we know how to get the booking. So sometimes it's just in that language, flipping a little bit of your script, and all of a sudden bookings are like rolling in and it's just one or two words. So that's why that's important as well.
Yeah, very good point. So I really encourage you to do that. And the other thing is sometimes we put in the team page, like share your whatever screenshots here. You might be inspiring somebody else, right? So I would just really encourage you to do that. It makes like it also helps us help you. Oftentimes I've said to people, send me your screenshot, and they'll say, well, I said this. No, send me the screenshot, because you think you said that, but that isn't what you actually said, right? Like it came out differently, or you're saying, well, then she said that she was too busy, but she actually gave a lot more detail than that. So it just is really helpful. All right. So that is skill, will. And one more thing I wanted to say about will is it's also really valuable to know your host's why, because then you can tailor that sort of, it creates your, you know, that unique value proposition you have. Like, are they interested in free product? Are they interested in the fun experience with friends, foodie tips to help their friends? These are all things that are going to help you know, kind of what to say. So we're going to come back to this one in a minute. All right, now this is the one where probably some of you are going to feel attacked. I know I do, and I'm the one reading it. I said before there were 3 reasons why we don't have the schedule we want. It's either skill, will, or habit. So let's look at habits. Habits are, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Like you guys, many of you know you have the skills. You know exactly what you need to do to get bookings. Many of you have a why. You know you have the will to get it done. You want to earn a trip, or you want to earn income, or whatever. And so if that's the case, the only thing holding you back is you, and that's your habits. And that comes down to, now the only thing is, here's the deal though, that you're not to blame because you haven't put these habits in place. Okay. I mean, I hate to be a broken record. My team knows this. My very favorite personal development book is this, Atomic Habits. Okay. It's Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you have not read this, you really should. This book is amazing about learning how to work with your environment, work with how our brains work in order to develop good habits. If you leave your habits to willpower, you are going to fail. Okay? Almost nobody has enough willpower to do the things we're supposed to do, right? So, and discipline as well. Like I used to say, I don't have good discipline. And discipline is doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, whether you want to or not. Okay. Now, I'm proving to myself through something I'm doing right now that I can be very disciplined. And it's because I've created some of these good habits, some of these techniques in here that are giving me better habits. Things like one of them I'm going to talk to you about right now is setting up your environment so that you have good habits. That can be something as simple as, you know, I'm going to give you a habit tracker at the end of this that you can use. You're going to like, it's putting systems in place that you don't have to rely on willpower, and it's also making your life a little simpler for you. So I'm a big believer in Google Calendar or some system, but I like Google Calendar, that what gets scheduled gets done. So if you're going to make 15 reach outs a day, then you should have a point scheduled in your calendar every day for when it doesn't have to be the same time, but you have to schedule in your calendar booking reach outs, and you have to hold that appointment like you would any other appointment. Like, do you have an appointment to go to the dentist tomorrow? Are you going to decide, meh, don't feel like it? Of course not. You've got a dentist appointment. You're going to go. Do you have a time that you're supposed to report to your regular full-time job? I mean, maybe once or twice a year you take a mental health day, but every other day you get yourself there on time, whether you want to or not, and you do what you're supposed to do. You have to treat this business exactly the same, you guys. It doesn't have to be 40 hours a week, but you need to schedule the time to work. You're not going to do it if you go around saying, I'm going to work when I find the time. You guys, I've looked everywhere. I've looked under the bed and in the cupboards. I've never found time anywhere. It doesn't exist, okay? You've got to make the time. It's about your priorities. Don't tell me you don't have enough time. Everyone has enough time to do whatever you think is your priority, okay? I now have to do 2 workouts a day that take 45 minutes. I used to tell myself I didn't have time to work out in a week. Now I work out twice every day for 45 minutes. I didn't get more time, and I'm still doing all the things I had to do before. You have to choose what your priorities are, okay? And I'm not here to tell you that this has to be one, but since you showed up on this call, I'm thinking it does. So you're going to decide how many times a week for how long it is your priority, and then you're going to schedule it. Schedule it. I can't say it loud enough or often enough, all right? There's some other systems that I would suggest you use to make your life much simpler. I would look at things like boards, okay? The Boards app. Trina, do you have information on this in your org page?
Yeah, I'm in the process of updating our boards, but there is some information in our org page on the Boards app for sure.
Okay, and in mine as well. All right, so Boards is like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I avoided, did not use this for as long as I did, and now I'm like mind blown by it. So Boards is text replacement on steroids. So you can have the Boards app, it's like a keyboard of paragraphs. So you can have like all your host coaching. Yeah, there's Trina, she's showing you. And then if she clicked on one of those, it would open up like today's host coaching. And then you literally press a button and the whole day's host coaching is gone, right? You just need to edit if you want to change names and so on. So you can have your host coaching in there. You can have your booking offers in there. You can have, and it's not just words, it holds pictures too. So again, how can we make this easier for you? Because if you don't have systems, you're not going to want to do this business, too much work, right? Project Broadcast can do your follow-ups with your hosts and so on. And we're going to be scheduling a Project Broadcast training with the Project Broadcast staff very, very soon. So both organizations will be welcome to that. Yeah, so systems, trackers, and schedules is what Habits is about. It's not just about willpower. Don't leave it to that unless you are, I don't know who you are, because you need to have some systems in place. My team in our virtual party success system, there are party trackers in there to help you keep track of things as well. But it's really important that you get these systems in place so that your habits can be better. All right, we're over time. I'm going to jump over a couple things here. This is what's happening? Why won't this change screens for me? Hold on, sorry. There we go. The belief triangle, again, I'm out of time here, but what this says is your beliefs will impact your actions will impact your results, and your results will reinforce your beliefs. But what I was going to just talk about quickly is if your beliefs are lacking, if you're saying to yourself, gosh, I've tried to improve my bookings before, it never works, what's wrong with me? Then fine, go ahead. I don't care. Switch it, turn this on your access, turn this on its access and start with action. Just trust me. Just do the things we're going to tell you to do and you'll get the results and then that will reinforce your beliefs. All right. Okay. Now I want you to just look at this. Imagine the possibilities here, you guys. If you did one show a month, these are using national averages. These are not numbers I pulled out of the air. One show a month. All right. You would earn $130 a month and put $1,560 this year into your pocket. $130 a month. If you want to do one show a month, that is a good date night out. That's going to, pay for, I don't know. I used to say a week's groceries. I don't know anybody who buys $130 for, anyway. What else could you do with your $130 a month? Probably take care of maybe your internet and cable bill every month, whatever. But if you did that consistently, that's what you could expect to earn. Now, if you up that to one show a week, and I actually firmly believe that one show a week is less work than one show a month. One show a month, you're changing out your specials for one show. You're doing you got to know what's going on for just one show. If you did one show a week, you would earn, and this is without a team, you guys, not with any consultants on your team. This is just you, $648 a month. Now, that's probably car payment for many of you. That is saving a nice amount towards a trip. You could put that in your investments. Put in the chat what you would do with $648 a month. All right. And most of you can increase your show average to get that pay much higher than that. That's $7,774 a year. A lot of people are begging for raises right now. And you have the opportunity to give yourself a raise of close to $8,000 a year by just doing one show every week. Anyone mind blown by that number? That's how much you would make just by showing up once a week? Now, here's the deal though. You're going to do one show a week. It's just as easy to do 4. You're already in there. Pop in and take a look at the shows real quick. Schedule them through SydShare or Post My Party, whatever you use, and get it done. Because 4 shows a week, which many people are doing that very part-time, you're now earning $2,816 a month or $33,800 a year. Now, how much time do you guys think you would need to do if you were using a template to do 4 shows a week? How much time do you think you would need to do that, to put into your business? Anyone want to put that in the chat? Trina, do we have anything in the chat? Oh, Trina stepped away. I'm relying on her to look at the chat. 5 hours a week, a few hours, Selena says. Yeah, towards women. Yeah. I think, honestly, 5 hours, I think that's lots. If you are setting up your shows through SydShare and so on, what's it take that to set that up? And then checking on your party. You guys don't feel like you need to be going in there regularly. Once or twice a day is plenty. Take a few minutes in the morning or at lunch or at night, whatever. And that's lots. Okay. So I think 5 hours to do 4 shows is great. Now, 5 hours a week and you get yourself $33,000, $34,000 extra. And honestly, your show average is definitely going to go up when you're being that consistent and you're meeting 260 people. So that doesn't even touch on what you're going to do by growing a team and so on. All right, so I'm going to give you a tool. We want to get you going this week on a booking blitz. And so I made a quick list here. Take a screenshot because we're out of time on who you could follow up with right now. Obviously, we went through the list at the beginning. And one of the things I was going to say is I don't actually want you making booking calls. For those of you that have been around for a while, I want you making customer care reach outs. Okay, you're coming from a place of service, checking on the products that they've already purchased. Then in that discussion, you're going to hear about things that they'd love to have, and you can create that conversation. All right, stoneware customers, pull order history reports. If you don't know how to do that, ask us. Monthly birthday parties, my org, there's a post, I'm sure Trina has one too, on how to pull birthday lists and do those reach outs. Right, so the first thing you're gonna do is make yourself a schedule of when you're going to work. And I'm going to send this, I need to get a list of who was on this call though. Well, I'm just gonna post this in my org page and I'll give it to Trina as well. And hang on, I'm just trying to share a different screen and then we're done. I have found that tracking your habits is the best way to stay on track with them. So I have a little, what is happening here? Tracking sheet for all of you. 1 second. What's your number one takeaway? What are you putting into action here? You can put it in the chat or you can come off mute. Anyone?
Jen, go ahead.
Scheduling.
Love it. Scheduling from Selena. Love it. Anybody else?
For me, it's going to be making it a habit.
Habits. Love that. Kathy. Was that Kathy? Yes. Awesome.
Yeah. So if it's making a habit, the bookings habit tracker is really going to help you. These are, I would encourage you, and I mean, you can decide, yes, I put 7 days here. You know, do I think you need to work your business every single day? No, but yes. I mean, we're talking 15, 20 minutes. You know, you decide, but don't just like let it happen. So these are the 5 things that I would encourage you to do every day for the next at least 2 weeks, every day, to see what happens and how you can really fill your calendar. I want you to think about how that would feel, first of all. Like, how would it feel for you to look at your calendar and go, I'm like completely booked for February, March, and April. Done. So 15 new reach outs to your warm market. So that was people that had a symbol beside their name or customer care. Follow up with the reach outs from the last 3 days. So that's so important because you cannot do this in one reach out. Most people will never get back to you. It's number 2 or 3 that they will get back to you. We're so over. Sorry, guys. Oh gosh, I'll fix that. Sorry, something happened there. I went to move one and I deleted one. I'll fix this before I send it out. Post to social media to create desire for a higher end product and engage with those who like or comment. Set a timer and scroll social media for 10 minutes, engaging in related posts. So you're looking at what other people are saying and doing related to what you have to offer. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry we're late, but I hope that was valuable to you. And love to hear how you make out. Love to hear how you make out with whatever you put into place here. I'm happy to stay and answer any questions if you have any. Otherwise, have a great night, everyone. Bye. Does anyone have any questions that you want to stay on for? Or are you good?